Peak oil. He talked about global warming.
With skillful manipulating of
UN. He
press,
talked about the NWO.
they're able to make the victim
They're
look
prepping
like
for mega.
the criminal, and the criminal look like the victim.
Once the red carpet gets rolled out for this New World Order program, everything is free game.
I welcome you to Make It Plain TV.
You still don't get it, do you, boys? There ain't no countries anymore. No more good guys. They're running the whole show. They own everything, the whole goddamn planet. They can do whatever they want. What's wrong with having it good for a change? Now, they're gonna let us have it good if we just help them. They're gonna leave us alone. Let us make some money. You can have a little taste of that good life, too. Now, I know you want it. Hell, everybody does.
You do it to your own kind.
What's the threat? We all sell out every day. Might as well be on the winning.
The president was tweeting up a storm this weekend, furiously defending himself in the impeachment showdown. Trump talked about arresting people for treason and even civil war. He tweeted this quote by a pastor, quote, "If the Democrats are successful in removing the president from office, which they never will be, it will cause a civil war-like fracture in this nation from which our country will never heal." And even some Republicans are criticizing the president for his tweet, like this representative, Adam Kinzinger, who tweeted, "I have visited nations ravaged by civil war. Donald Trump, I have never imagined such a quote to be repeated by a president."
Now, folks, I don't know if you saw this today, but Donald Trump is pretty much starting a civil war here. He tweeted out to his followers, "Liberate Virginia and save your great Second Amendment. It is under siege." 38.8 thousand comments, 37.7 thousand retweets, 147.6 thousand hearted. Liberate Michigan. Liberate Minnesota. Folks, when the President of the United States sends out a tweet like that, that is really an arms to war. I mean, this is serious.
To the uninitiate, it seems as if the white race is supreme. Once you get to the higher initiates, there is a different story, and Nimrod was worshipped as black or white. There is chaos created between the races, so you have the Ku Klux Klan, which is anti-black, and you have organizations which are equally anti-white. This is called dialectic thinking. Remember the Hegelian principle? You create friction between the races so that you can have synthesis in the end and bring about a new world order. So in order to unite the races, the best thing to do is to create chaos amongst the races until the pain of separation exceeds the pain of unity. You understand the Hegelian dialectic thinking? It's brilliant. It's sick, but it's brilliant. And it doesn't matter if you sacrifice hundreds of thousands of lives to achieve your objective, because the end justifies the means. It really is a terrible doctrine.
Two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way. Two brothers on their way, one wore blue and one wore gray. One wore blue and one wore gray as they marched
by
along the way.
sharing, liking, and subscribing to the new Black Media channel, Make It Plain TV. This channel is dedicated to benefiting you by educating you through enhanced digital technology for social, cultural, and political, economical development by using social commentary on social issues or news stories. If you like this video, hit the like button. Don't forget to share and subscribe.
One was kind, one was gentle, one was kind. One came home, one stayed behind. A cannonball don't pay no mind. Cannonball don't pay no mind if you're gentle or if you're kind. It don't think of the folks behind, all on a beautiful morning, all on a beautiful morning.
All right, next story. This is, we're in the midst of this coronavirus. People are sheltering in their homes. They're not supposed to go out. You've got law enforcement, police, trying to enforce this and advise the community. Something strange happened in Louisiana. And if any of you have ever seen the movie The Purge, you're going to recognize the sound that Shanley Painter is talking about tonight.
Bro, what the heck, man? They coming around again.
This blaring sound startled many in the small town of Crowley, Louisiana.
All of a sudden, you just hear The Purge, which is going, I know it's famous right now. It just caused a lot of havoc, a lot of chaos. You hear the sirens blaring. They're just super loud. My dog freaks out. Neighbors coming outside, checking out what was going on, yelling, just upset about it.
The police sounding an alarm to signify the start of curfew. From 9 at night to 6 in the morning, Crowley residents must remain at home to curb the spread of COVID-19.
As we examined it, we didn't want to go through with our regular sirens because we didn't want to create more havoc. And one of the officers who is military approached me and said, well, Chief, there is an old military siren that was used. It was used in the movie Purge, but it's been used for many, many years. And after listening to it, I said, well, it's a more muffled tone. It, wouldn't create to me as much havoc.
This is your emergency broadcast system.
The movie, which stars Ethan Hawke, features an annual day known as The Purge, when all crimes, including murder, are illegal for a 12-hour period. People who don't want to become victims lock themselves in their homes. The start of this period is signaled by a horn. The same sound Crowley police used to announce the COVID curfew.
The courageous citizens of Staten Island, those pioneers, will be part of something that could bring about great change. We are all Staten Islanders tonight. Good luck.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the NFFA social experiment on Staten Island, New York. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the experiment. All crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children than died in Hiroshima. And is the price worth it?
I think this is a very hard choice, but we think the price is worth it.
So in the Hegelian dialectic, you have the thesis and you have its antithesis. So you have something and then its opposite, essentially. But then in the Hegelian dialectic, it doesn't stop there. Those don't just sit there opposed to each other. In the Hegelian dialectic, you merge the two, the thesis and the antithesis, and you achieve synthesis from that. It's like you take the two opposites, you combine them and merge them into one. And don't get me wrong here, this isn't like the yin-yang, where you have, the white side and the black side, and there's a little bit of the yin in the yang, there's a little bit of yang in the yin. No, what they're talking about is actually commingling all of it. They would take the white side and the black side and just completely amalgamate all of it into one, so that you would almost have like a gray circle, and that's all that would be left. They're not talking about the balancing of opposites. They're talking about taking opposites and making them into one new whole. So that's the difference between your traditional dualism and what they're teaching. And they call this the Great Work. Aleister Crowley taught this, and people that influenced him and all kinds of people in the occult have been teaching this for a long time. That essentially, and here's the big kicker, the thing that they won't tell you, they believe that when you finish this great work, and what the great work is combining and merging, synthesizing all opposites into one whole. And they believe that when you complete this great work, that you'll achieve apotheosis, that man will become God. And even that in and of itself is the same dualism that we were just talking about. God and man are complete opposites, and that's what they're trying to achieve with the great work. They're trying to merge the two and make them one.
Turn off your radio, please.
I've been doing research and following up on the Masonic aspect of the New World Order. And I agree with you when you say that this country is a Masonic republic, and I understand all of this. What I can understand is, if these people are so after world domination, why would they give us a chance in this great Masonic experiment? Why wouldn't they just have it locked down 100 years ago?
Because it wasn't a chance. It was a sure thing. Our forefathers, if you read their writings, they knew more about human nature than any psychologist that lives on the face of the earth today. They knew we would give up our freedoms in exchange for our liberties and preserve the republic. They also gave us everything in the Constitution that we could use to destroy our own selves. They understood that human nature is such that if we can get something for nothing, and if we think it's for nothing, that's the way we're going to go.
Obama! You got Obama phone? Yes, everybody in Cleveland, no minority got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, He gave us a phone.
Give you a phone. How do you give you a phone?
You sign up if you on food stamps, you on Social Security, you got low income, you disability. Romney, he sucks. Bad.
President Trump's name will reportedly be printed on stimulus checks that the IRS is mailing to tens of millions of Americans amid the coronavirus pandemic. The president is not an authorized signer for the checks issued by the Treasury Department, but the Washington Post is reporting the checks will still be signed by Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, but the president's signature will also appear in the memo section. The checks are expected to be mailed out next week.
And that's exactly what has happened.
So it was just sort of a hollow gesture, because they knew what the outcome would be.
Well, not only wasn't a hollow gesture, they had to establish this country in order to give the common man a taste of freedom for the first time in the history of the world. This had never happened before. It was the catalyst that toppled the kings and queens from their thrones in Europe. It took away the power that opposed them. Number two, it was to prove to the common man that he could not rule himself. They knew that human nature, common man would through his human nature, his human foibles and failings, give up everything that they had given us, and then that would be the reason quoted to us in the New World Order why we cannot have those liberties or freedoms.
I see. And so actually this was set up as the power transference was taken away from the old the aristocrats.
That's right, and this country was the instrument which would bring into the world the New World Order, and it was all put into the Great Seal of the United States. If you know how to interpret the symbolism of the mysteries, it's all right there. Who they were, what they were about, and what they intended to bring about is right there in the Great Seal.
I see. Did you know that Albert Pike is buried in the walls of the House of the Temple in Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
Yeah. And also, what is the UN meditation room?
It is a place where those who understand the religion of the New World Order go to meditate and practice through symbology the religion right there in the United Nations.
Okay, Bill. Well, thank you very much, Bill, and be careful.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Time to expose the hypocrites. Ladies and gentlemen, this will only take a moment.
Columbine.
I like the way you die, boy.
Kill all the white people in the movie. How great is that?
Virginia Tech.
Tucson.
Aurora.
Fort Hood. Oak Creek. Newtown.
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 How many more? How many more? How many more colleges? How many more classrooms?
Okay, I can understand why people like that.
How many more movie theaters?
Here we go. Yes.
How many more houses of faith?
Yeah, that's gangster style.
How many more shopping malls?
Let's kill it. You talking to me, bitch? Easy there, fella.
Whoa.
Okay.
How many more street corners?
How many more?
How many more?
Enough. Enough.
It's kind of cool, actually.
Enough. Enough.
Demand a plan.
Right now, as a mom.
As a dad, as a friend, as a husband,
As a wife.
as an American.
As an American. As an American.
As a human being. For the children of Sandy Hook.
Demand a plan. No more lists of names. It's not too soon.
It's too late.
Now is the time.
What do I do?
Before we all know someone who loved someone on that list.
No more lists.
No more.
Who they might have been. No more.
If we had just done something yesterday. It's time.
We can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time for our leaders to act. Demand a plan. Right now.
right now.
You! Demand it!
Enough.
No, she should know how to respond.
Enough.
Well, now you're the dead guy. And he just put the gun.
Enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Donald Trump Museum, dedicated to America's #1 citizen and America's greatest living folk hero, the one and only Donald Trump. Learn the amazing history of the Trump family.
Somebody criticized me the other day because they asked me what I do, and I said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
And I guess I have some very good enemies, and I like it that way somehow, and I really believe in trashing your enemies.
Inside, you will learn how Donald Trump's father left him a large inheritance.
Nobody's going to do more women than Donald Trump. That I can tell you. That I can tell you. And I think they know it.
Discover how in 2016 Donald Trump successfully lobbied to legalize gambling.
Part of the beauty of me is that I'm very rich.
He wants to run for president and move on into the White House. Why not?
Share in the stupidity of the average American as they made him the 45th president of the United States.
That will easily go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. Me, Donald John Trump.
No! Hey, no! Hey, wait, you come with us upstairs.
There you go, Sonny. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The easy way.
That's rapper Snoop Dogg pulling the trigger on a toy gun aimed at a clown dressed as President Donald Trump.
This channel is dedicated to bringing truth to power and engaging our enemy with intellectual warfare. The dominant society will never switch up their playbook, so we must make a new one. The war we find ourselves in is a technological war, using technology, propaganda, and psyops to oppress and control you. Black intelligentsia, please share the new black media. Counter propaganda arms, make it plain TV.